The U. All right, y'all. What's up, man? So it's time to react, man. My Hurricanes got a dub tonight. Now, look, I'm gonna talk about the people in my comment section when I brought up that video. I was right. I told y'all Miami hadn't beaten a top 10 opponent since 2017, y'all. This is their first top 10 win against an opponent. Obviously, since that time, that's going on almost 8 years. So I wasn't lying when I said that. Nonetheless, the Kings prevailed, man. If a great performance, I thought, for the most part defensively. They had that one, obviously, mental breakdown, or obviously that lapse in the defense with Eli Ritterden, who had obviously 65-yard long reception down the field. But for the most part, that defense was doing its thing. Like, Miami is so much better defensively now compared to last year. And think about this. They actually finished the game, right? That's one of my biggest takeaways. They finished this game. Ruben Bain, oh my goodness, he was special tonight. Like, him and Akeem Mizador, they were a problem, and they lit up the Notre Dame offensive line. Remember, that was a staple of their team last year. Their offensive line was special, and Miami ate them boys alive. So shout out to them, obviously, for that. Ending the game this time last year, you would have to go ask Cam Ward to win this game. I feel like the defense really won it. Now we're going to break down some different pieces of this game. Great victory, top 10 win. They deserve all the credit in the world. Shout out to Ryan Cristobal, who I called out. He did his thing in this game, but we're going to break down some things they can do better. Now, for one, I think they were way too conservative in the fourth quarter. They got outscored 17-3 in the fourth quarter. Now, I like that they ran the ball a lot. This is what Notre Dame should have did. They ran the ball 39 times. That is a lot, you know what I'm saying, to say the least, right? And threw it 30. So I love that they stayed with the run. Was it the most efficient? No, right? Shamar Brown, 3.6. Mark Fletcher, 4.4. It wasn't the most efficient ground game, but they ran it the whole night. Now, Carson Beck had a pretty good game. He missed on a couple throws, but for the most part, he took care of the football, hit his reads, and him and Malachi Tony was eating early in that game. Notre Dame defense did not have an answer for him in that slot position. He was lighting them the hell up. And he's going to be a great player for us, man. I'm so excited for him in his future. Bright future for that young man and that true freshman. He did what he was supposed to do tonight. And how about C.J. Daniels, man? How about this catch? This could have easily been an interception. I mean, Odell Beckham-esque catch, obviously, from C.J. Daniels right here. Absolutely special, man. That is what we need in our receiving corps. And if they're going to have that this upcoming year, Miami should be fine in terms of throwing the football. Now, one thing I did not like, y'all, they got too conservative. You were up 21-7. You hit them in the mouth twice. You scored at the end of the half, and then you scored, obviously, on a long drive in the end zone by Shamar Brown. Stay aggressive, bro. When you got a team on the ropes and it's 21-7, keep hitting them in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Especially, look, y'all, they had a true freshman quarterback. Like, what is we doing? You know what I'm saying? Continue to hit that team in the mouth. So that's one of the knocks I have on Miami tonight. Stay aggressive, right? Good thing, like I said, they didn't blow the lead. They were up 21-7. They dealt with it, outscored 17, obviously 3 in the fourth quarter. But they did what they were supposed to do. But nonetheless, stay aggressive. You have a veteran quarterback. Carson Beck has been playing for how long? He's going to know what to do in them instances and situations. It's okay to lean on him a little bit more. I know it's the first game of the season. I know Notre Dame has a great defense. But lean on your quarterback a little bit more in that situation. So, yeah, I bring that up as just areas of concern. Offensive line, I thought for the most part played well. Beck only got sacked one time. Had to be better on the ground game. But overall, a really pretty good game on both sides of the ball. You can't have spells in college football, right? It doesn't mean you have to score on every single possession, but you can't go 4 straight 3-and-outs, right? You got to have a little bit more production. You can't have your defense out there that whole time and expect them to be able to stop. That's when you've seen that lapse of the defense, stuff like that. But they clean that up. They'll be fine. Defense, for the most part, they're really good outside tackling. I thought Miami was the more physical team tonight. You know what I'm saying? They look really good in the trenches, physical, battered. And I feel like they really beat up on Notre Dame on both sides of the ball and really gave it to them. And I think that was the difference in the game. The physicality for the Hurricanes was on full display. Now, let's talk about Notre Dame. You start a true freshman quarterback. He obviously had his mistakes, right? He had his interception. End of the game, he takes the sack, which you can't do. He has the intentional grounding. Things that he's going to learn as he, continues to grow. But he showed some good things tonight. He showed an ability to be able to deal with adversity, go down 21-7, and still be able to rally his troops and make the plays that he needed to make. You got to credit that young man for that. He's only going to get better with more time. And it looked like they got some weapons on the outside. Jordan Faison looked pretty good. He needs more touches. Get him the ball more in space. Malachi Fields is another one that was making plays. Needs more touches. Eli Ritterden looks like he's going to be a safety blanket for him. Great performance for him tonight. 5 catches, 97 yards. So they got some pieces. What I didn't like for Notre Dame is you didn't give the ball to your star player enough. 10 carries. He had 4 carries going all the way through the third quarter, most of the third quarter. He didn't have his best game. He only had 3.3 yards on the ground. But make it easier for your quarterback. I don't count the 28 to 30 because a lot of this were scrambles, you know what I'm saying, or design runs. Look, bro, you got the running backs. I know they weren't getting the push as they needed to, but you got to run the ball. That's the identity of this offense. Use that, run the ball, play action, hit your receivers. I felt like Notre Dame got away from that tonight just a little bit, and they put a lot on their freshman quarterback. They did good early, though, having him get the ball out quick, getting him into a rhythm. But the ground game has to be better, and you got to feature your star. It's the best running back in the country. 10 touches ain't enough. Defensively for Notre Dame, I thought they did a really good job of continuing to keep the team in the game. 21-7, they could have, wilted under the pressure. They could have folded. They didn't. They continued to play at a high level. They continued to, get after the quarterback as they could. They continued to play really good in the secondary. Christian Gray had a couple, mishaps, but he had some couple good plays as well. And they were hitting hard. They made the running game tough and difficult for Miami. Made them be patient with it. So you got a defense, I think, that can still get you to where you want to go. But your quarterback's going to have to figure some things out in terms of, what he's doing with the ball, holding on to it too long, making it easier and a simpler game for him. But yeah, y'all, that's my thoughts, man. Overall, great game for Miami. You take 1-0 all day long. You got some big games coming up against Florida State and Florida. We'll see. Those will be great tests to see where our team is. But this team is precipitously better compared to last year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Night and day difference. This team was getting killed all over the field. They're physical, they're athletic, really good IQ, not a lot of blown coverages. They're making tackles in the open field. They're making plays on the ball. That Ruben Bate interception was insane. This team looks like they can potentially be a contender in the college football playoff. You know what I'm saying? Now they got to do their thing, get to an ACC championship, but Miami has everything they need in order to do that. But at the same time, trust Beck just a little bit more, and don't be conservative. If you got a lead, hit the team in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? No way Notre Dame should have been able to come back and make this thing interesting. But Miami should be okay in the ACC. Notre Dame will go do a couple things with your quarterback, but you still might be able to get to 10-2. 10-2, I feel like, gets you into a college football playoff. But we'll see. Really good game between two really good teams. Miami prevails, gets that big win. As I told y'all in my comments, their first big win, top 10 win since 2017. That's what I was saying, y'all. They hadn't had a big win. Finally, they get one under Mario Cristobal. Shout out to my Hurricanes. Moving on to you. 1-0 on the season. We'll take that all day. Comment down below your thoughts on the Hurricanes win.